Welcome to the Search Triggers Partner Hangout. I'm Victor Grant, the lead developer and creator of Search Triggers, and we have an all-star cast of characters that are joining us tonight. We have a few of them here with me in the green room. We've been talking for the past hour about what we're going to present to you, and I want to just preview what's coming today. We're going to begin with a little bit of an introduction from our guests who are here with us live, and after that I'm going to go into a short PowerPoint presentation to go over the strategy that we're going to be outlining. Then we're going to bring in a special guest who is a Twitter expert who will be going through a presentation, and finally we're going to have a YouTube expert join us, and we're going to do a live interactive presentation about how to restructure titles for YouTube. So on that note, I'm going to switch the camera to anyone who wants to chime in. Introduce yourself. Alice, you're going to be our special guest tonight.
Hey everybody, I'm Alice Langholt, and thanks so much, Vic, for inviting me to be a part of this. I think it's awesome. I think Search Triggers is legendary, and I'm totally excited about the results I've had already working with it with Twitter, and I've already been good at Twitter, but this is just making things work better.
Awesome, thank you, Alice. And you're so low-key. You've written over 900 articles. You worked for a company that was acquired by About.com, and you just informed me you worked for Google for a year. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. So let's see, Ricardo, you're next. Tell us a little, if you can unmute yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey. Hi to all, I'm Riccardo Romano from Italy. I am a video expert, so I'm using YouTube like an expert, and I'm very happy to be here. Sorry for forgive me for my errors, for my mistakes, because I'm not a native English speaker. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited with Search Triggers. I'm using it just right in these days, and I want to see how it's going on.
All right, thank you. And we're going to be covering you at the end. We're going to be talking about the YouTube. And John, you have to go. You're my mentor and business coach and client, and I really appreciate you. John, if you can unmute and say hi, say a few words.
There's no way I can compete, ladies, with that voice from Italy. First of all, I'll do my best. Ricardo, that was cool. And don't worry about the English as a first language. You're in good shape there with the ladies here. All right. Basically, my bottom line is to get to the heart of the matter quickly. And the heart of the matter in this particular case, around business, that's my expertise, and online, offline marketing is part of it, is the heart of the matter is people are struggling. They're flat out just having a hard time doing things well on the internet. The only people that are not struggling are the people that are in the top less than 1%, probably more like 0.1%, who through lots of trials and tribulations have figured out what is going to work and not work. If you want to make money on the internet, which I hope you do because it's a huge market, then Victor is one of those 0.1% of people. The reason I always enjoy being around him is that I have no clue about what he talks about sometimes, and I just say, well, that sounds good. And the bottom line is he's got a tool here that if you take it to heart and you really use it, it'll come to fruition for you in your business. Here's the one thing that I have concern about in any marketplace. Until you're well known, you're not somebody who's just taken right off the shelf and used. Any new product is always like, well, I'm not going to be the first adopter. Honestly, Victor is new into this marketing of this product. It's superb, everybody. But because it's not known around the industry yet, it's not taken off. Well, be one of the first people to get on this thing, because honestly, I'm not kidding around. You want a tool that's going to make a difference, be a difference maker. This is it. So sorry for the long introduction, but Victor, I really mean that. Especially for people that are true business people, they don't have the technical skills that Ricardo or you do. Don't even mess with it. Just use this tool, everybody.
And so, Alice, thank you, John. I'm going to lock the camera on you while I switch to PowerPoint. Alice, tell us a little bit about what is search triggers and why you're one of the few people. We had many people who applied that we thought were really A-list people, but when we analyzed their traffic numbers, they didn't qualify for the pro level case study. Now we're doing another case study for business owners, and it's going to have much lower qualifications with our market research firm, but you qualified for our case study. What have you learned in the last few weeks that we've been working together, Alice?
So I've actually really learned a lot, and what you've shown me during our time together and working with search triggers is that you can use search triggers to for a lot of things, and sorting data and really understanding where the traffic is coming from and what people are looking for. And you can take advantage of the knowledge that you gain by using search triggers to pull certain key phrases, okay, based on the area that you want to be seen as a leader in. And then you can use those key phrases in your writing, in your keywords, in your tweeting, so that your article or your tweet or your post will go up to a higher place in the rankings on Google, on Bing, and on the Twitter rankings also, which I didn't even know that they had their own analytics, that you could even find out what's popular on Twitter except by doing a search within Twitter itself. So your tool here pulls all of that data in real time and lets you look at it in a lot of different ways. And that's been really enlightening for me, actually.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So now you should be seeing my screen. Are you guys seeing my screen, how to rank #1?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what I was going to have is a conversation. I'm going to go through and make a statement, and then you and John and Ricardo, if you want to chime in, feel free to. I'm going to go through this really quick because I want to get to the training part on the Twitter training, because I know you have to go, and then we're going to do the YouTube training with Ricardo. So here we go. And John, you and I, we actually came up with this slide right before. Feeling frustrated, don't know what to write, and are you pulling your hair out? I'm part of a blogging club, and we're going to have some people on next week from our blogging club, and we're going to be talking all about blogging. And one of our commitments is to blog daily. Well, one of the reasons why I created search triggers in the first place is because I didn't know what to write. And I was pulling my hair out, and I said, gosh, I don't want to write something if it's not going to get traction, if we're not going to get engagement, and if we're not going to get, a traffic, or if it's too competitive. Like if I'm trying to blog about online marketing, I've got 9.9 million competitors. But more on that later. So, John, these are the 3 questions that you feel that many, many people feel about. If you're free, feel free to unmute. The camera will not switch to you. And talk about this. Are you not making any money on the internet? Are you not knowing what the map to being successful looks like and not knowing who to believe? John, you still there?
I am here, and well, that's the deal. I mean, if you're here, you're wanting to make some money on the internet, and you're also wanting to know who to believe, because you're trying to not, all of us have only so many cycles, I'll call them, before we get fed up and frustrated, and we're human, and we all, gosh, look at the NFL. They're looking for every way to be a better team than other teams, short of being taking drugs. We don't want to do that. We're not. See, with this thing, we're getting that advantage without having to be illegal like someone like that. We have an advantage with this to be able to make money on the internet in an easier, more graceful way. It is possible. We all know how big the internet is and the possibilities, but we also know how much traffic is out on the internet. So it's akin to the fact you're going down a highway and you're trying to figure out of the big traffic jam which car to jump in. Well, if you've landed at this recording or you're live with us right now, you've landed in the right colored car. It's like Who's Finding Waldo? I got kids, so you got to forgive me, but there's a book called Who's Finding Waldo, and you find that one little Waldo in the middle of all this stuff on the screen. So that's what you want, everybody. Now, the other thing is, you got to know who you're working with, and that's why knowing Victor's not world known yet. I mean, it's very possible that this tool could take off in a way that other tools have, just in the same genre. But the biggest issue is you don't know where to go either. You don't know what to write in this case. That's what we're doing here. You don't know what to tweet. You don't know how to attract people to your message, and you're trying to get in through that traffic jam, and you're trying to get to the 10 or 12 people out of 500 cars who are interested. How do you get to them? Well, Victor's tool does that. Now, let me ask all of you out there, if you could just type into the chat window, is there anything else that you'd like to add that you're frustrated with, that you think a tool like this that helps you write messages to get people to look at your communications? Is there anything else we're missing here? Please chat it in real quick so we can see it.
Great.
Okay.
And if you guys are watching the replay, feel free to write the chat in, and we'll cover it next week, because we're going to be doing these every week, and we're going to be building every single week. So
and we're covering the gamut here, Victor. I mean, I know from my experience, 27 years in marketing, that we just hit it. So let's move on, though, because if you're all in that place, everybody, and it would be great if we could have some interaction, but I know it's hard to do that on the Google Hangout, but I know we're hitting the heart of the matter because I work with so many different clients. Do you feel that? Is this a problem for you? Yes or no? Yes. For most people, it is. Do you know?
Okay, so you guys don't know me yet, but those of you who do, and the other ones you don't, and some of you don't even know my full story, and I'm not going to go into my full story right now, but I am going to go through a couple of things. So what gives me the right to talk to you like this? This is a question that my mentor, Alex Mandossian, asked me to always get very clear on, and so I'm going to go through it in an Alex style. Okay, so why should you follow my lead? Not because I've ranked several clients who deserved it, number one. It's not because I nailed all 10 spots, not just the first one, in multiple engines. It's not because I've worked with Tom Clancy and ranked him at number one in 1998. Not because I've increased my blog traffic 100-fold over 90 days. Not because I've caused an acquisition to happen for one of my clients. And it's not because I've engineered Inc. magazine to pick up one of my clients' articles. Nor is it because I've written my own search engine that's smarter than others. More on that later. Why you should follow me is because I've made more mistakes than anyone else in our industry. I have more experience in the trenches. Over 17 years, I can teach you what not to do, and I can help you evolve to number one. If you don't deserve to be number one, there's nothing I can do. And a lot of the stuff that really, pardon my French, pisses me off about SEOs out there is they're selling snake oil. They're trying to say, oh, hire my firm, and even though you don't deserve it, I will get you in the top 10 under a word that no one is thinking about. That is morally and ethically wrong. You should be paying Google, you should be paying Bing, you should be advertising, you should be rightfully deserving, but guess what? You don't have a chance in ranking number one if you don't deserve it. I can show you why, and I know what it takes. So that's a little bit harsh, but that's why you should follow me. Did you know that 90% of marketing today is getting people's attention? It used to be 25%. There was a balance between marketing, interest, engagement, all these kinds of things. Right now, it's all about getting people's attention. So do I have your attention? Everyone just like chime in here. I guess you guys are all muted.
You have my attention.
Okay, how many of you guys would like $1,000? Okay, who wants $1,000 here?
That's not enough, buddy.
You know that whole thing, like where this guy is holding up, like he's usually only holding up a $5 bill or a $10 bill or a $1,000 bill. When you come to one of my events in person and you see me, I will have this $1,000 bill in my hand, and you will know the secret, because when I say who wants this, you got to jump out of your seat, and grab it. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the case study, because I want to show you that I have ranked #1. I have ranked a client #1, and he did deserve to be #1. Okay? Now, this is, I'm going to go through this really quick, and then we're going to go into some real stuff here. All right? So, and mind you, I did this study before search triggers existed. In fact, the analysis to figure out what we did, we can do in 5 minutes with search triggers what used to take us an hour. Okay? So in here, in a few seconds, I can look at the space that this guy was coming in. Now you'll see a couple of things here. Business Accelerator, my client came to me and says, Vic, we want to hire you to rank us in the top 10 on the keyword Business Accelerator. I said, do you realize there's 371,000 pages of that with quotes, and there's several million pages without quotes? That is probably unreachable, and you're competing against universities. You're competing against lots of other people. There's no way we could do that. So we started off with the Business Accelerator definition, which is the yellow highlighted thing you see on my screen. Okay, after 90 days, it took us 90 days, my client hit the top 10 naturally within the first 90 days. Then Inc. magazine called him, and that caused Inc. magazine to reprint the article, and Inc.'s article hit #1. It's still been there. I think it's going on for 3 years now. And then we had all the copycats. eHow came in, and everyone else came in. That's why I wrote in copycat. eHow is a copycat. They look at a trend, and they simply rewrite the article in their own words. But we came up with the idea. Okay? AmFam Business Accelerator was the one company that we couldn't move past using natural search because we didn't have authority. And here you can see a slide of Google without quotes. There's the article in the #1 position. Okay? And I mentioned Yahoo. We did not rank #1, but we did rank in the 9th position, and we still do today without quotes. So Ask.com, we're still #1, except the entire part is advertising and answers. So how do we do it? We caused a movement. We caused momentum. And John, you know the word momentum really well, better than anyone else, because your company's called Momentum now. And then even Mercedes-Benz jumped on the bandwagon. And here's a shot of the article that you can go Google and read it. And as you can see, accelerate your business, Mercedes-Benz. So the ad and the article have a consistency between it. The article came first, the ad came second, and we did the article first in their own website, ranked it naturally using our own software called Space, which I'm going to be introducing next week. And then once it ranked in the top 10, they got a phone call. Guys, you can't just call up Inc. magazine and say, hey, do I want to, do you guys, want to print my article? No. They call you. Okay? Okay, so do you want to know how? 6 steps. Keyword research, competitive analysis. We picked our lamb. Now, what is a lamb? A little bit of trivia. I was state champion in Boy Scouts in archery when I was a kid. And I learned how to fire a bow and arrow and always hit the target consistently. So the lamb is someone who's in the top 10 right now that sort of manipulated or hired some firm or did some sort of sneaky black hat stuff. And it's pretty easy to spot them. I can take them out. And we did this with high-profile events. They attended several seminars, several conferences. We established linking partnerships and cross-linked authority sites. It took 90 days, but we did it. So if you have one of those red terms, you want to rank #1, let me ask you this. Is your business worthy of the spot? Do you have what it takes to be #1? And if so, call me. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I prefer you to pick up the phone and give me a call. And you'll be surprised. I might just answer directly. Probably not while I'm doing a webinar, but I will get back to you, or someone on my team will get right back to you. That is my direct extension. And this is an ad that is now going into Published Magazine. Published magazine is in circulation to about 35,000 best-selling authors, and it's all going to be focusing on bringing bestsellers and best-selling authors like my colleagues Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra and Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, all good friends of mine I've met over the years, and Bob Proctor and Robert G. Allen, my very first mentor when I was 21 years old. All of you guys, we're going to be focusing on best-selling authors using search triggers as soon as this magazine hits the shelves. And that's going to be coming out probably next month. So this is the ad. Go ahead and check out our free ebook at searchtriggers.com/ebook and give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about your business and give you a free 15-minute consultation. As you can tell, I can pretty much just give me your website. And if you have a website and you want to write that in the chat box, we may call you out next week in the Hangout. Let me know how I can actually figure out how much traffic you're getting, even without needing to see your analytics. Although if I do see your analytics, I can learn a lot more about you. Okay, so next week, and I've been talking a lot about next week, we're going to have the $400 million man, Alex Mandossian. Watch me coach Alex with you. He's already indexed in 42,000 pages by name. He is a top-selling author. He's the owner of Marketing Online, and his video guy is with us tonight, and we are training his staff in search triggers, and we're going to be training other strategic partners. He's going to be with us 3 weeks in a row starting next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Mark your calendar. He will be with us. And watch me bring Alex to #1. He's got an ambitious goal, 9.9 million competing pages. And we're going to be focusing on putting him to the top. So that's next week, but that's next week. So what are the required factors for hitting #1? And I love this quote by Socrates: I cannot teach anybody anything, I can only make them think. Factor #1 is an authority site. Inc. magazine has 2.69 million pages of content, okay? Because they have so much content, because they have so much engagement, because they have so much influence, anytime you get published in there, you immediately skyrocket to the top. Now I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now you might notice that Inc. magazine Twitter is highlighted in yellow with only 2,300 tweets. Guess what? We could show you how to do some gangster stuff in Twitter, which brings us to the next topic, which is today. Many of you guys can't get published in Inc. magazine, but you can get published in Twitter. And that's why today we're going to be talking about another authority site that you can directly influence right now and post content. And that is Twitter. And so this week's special guest is Twitter expert, blogger, writer, and Reiki instructor, Alice Hanholt. Alice, introduce yourself. Look, you're no slacker. You've got 16,300 pages to your name on the internet already, so I think you've got a big, big head start, which is why I singled you out as one of our pros. Feel free to unmute. I mean, I don't know if you knew that, but you're out there.
No. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And just on Reiki Awakening, you've got 3,250.
Yeah. I write about Reiki a lot. Reiki is my main interest, and it's the focus of my business personally. Reiki, in case those of you might not know, Reiki is an energy healing method. It's holistic. It's a way of engaging your mind, body, and spirit in better health. And so you want to learn more about it, go to my website, go to ReikiAwakening.com. Check it out. It's helpful for everybody. So anyway, that's why I started using Twitter. I mean, honestly, was to connect with other people who were talking about Reiki, because I really needed, I needed to connect with people. I needed a community. and I felt very isolated in what I was doing, just where I lived. So anyways, I wanted to find other people who were talking about Reiki, and that's why I started using Twitter. And what happened is people started responding to what I was tweeting, and I started to get more followers. And so I very organically kind of learned how to get more followers, get people engaged in conversation, get people coming to my website. And so that was back in 2007 when I started, but in 2007, but now it's become something that I've really realized is extremely valuable to social media, to traffic, you know, and yet Search Triggers has brought me to a new level because it's a tool that helps me know how to word tweets a little more effectively, so that not only are they good on Twitter and engaging people on Twitter, but they're also, you know, being ranked on Google. They're also bringing more traffic from other places because they're showing up, you know, people are retweeting or things like that, you know, or they're sharing them or asking me questions, you know.
Oh, I want to thank you very, very much, Vic, for your help, because tonight I have learned about topics that I never heard before, and I have got so many haha moments for this hangout, because you know, I'm quite a newbie in the field of keywords, SEO, and so on. So I want to make a big thanks to you, and I'm looking forward to use Search Trigger for my business.